First of all, I want to say a very special good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the People's Forum of In the Streets. Greetings in the precious name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I and Empress Mene, and also in the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's this topic that I put up a few months ago about Jamaica experiencing a Chinese invasion, and what do you think? Now, a friend of mine, his name is Mr. Mrkwodsonikpunk, decided to respond to that question, and we had a nice little rapport, or we should call it dialogue, back and forth, because I'm picking his mind and he's picking mine, and we're trying to come up with some solution. This was never heated at any time at all. I don't sense any animosity in Mr. Mrkwodsonikpunk. All I detect was a concerned brother that hopefully wants the best for the black race. Now, here is his first response, and then I'm going to read my response, and his response, and mine, and his. And then I want you, the people, you, the forum, to read into his points and also read into my points. Look into my points and then look into his points. And weigh your own mind, and to see how best we can further enhance this dialogue that I had with Mr. Mrkwodsonikpunk. Okay, so his first comment was, we all know that the Chinese are not the problem. The problem is the general attitude blacks have for one another. My response was, I agree with some of what you say. His response was, elaborate on which part you do not agree on. So I went into my thing and I said, we know for sure, and it has been proven even in recent times, the Chinese, have flooded our island with fake name brand products. A lot of them have been arrested and fined hefty sum. They sell outdated goods not fit for human consumption and should be dumped. Fake goods have been found recently to the tune of over $9 million. But I'm not one to find faults and bash any race of people. I want the best for my country. And if they are allowed here, they must conform to the laws of this country. Some Chinese have given their honest hard work in building this country. So who am I to judge and cast stones? Thanks for watching and making your comment. Enough love from Yard. Mr. Mrkwodsonikpunk, his reply was, the Chinese are known for counterfeit goods worldwide. I'm sure not even they will deny that. My point is that it is the prevailing disunity, disloyalty, and general attitudinal dysfunction of black people that can be seen by every other race of people that leaves black people open to exploitation by these other races. It is not about the Chinese per se. It is the general perception of blacks by other races, while blacks are constantly exploited, whether Africa or Caribbean. There are Chinese population in European countries also, yet these countries don't seem to have the issues that black countries tend to be having. Something worth pondering. Then I responded, true, but why is this so? Why are we like this? I'm certainly not like that. It tells me we are a targeted race. Something to ponder. There are some very strange happenings in Jamaica, my friend. The food, the water, the products they come at us with every chance they get. Not just Chinese, every other race. But I'm working assiduously to help my people from this perpetual plague they put on us. I'm using the powers of the Almighty and the spirits of my ancestors. And guess what? We will win. His Imperial Majesty says, in this 21st century, David can still slay Goliath. His response, Mrkwodsonikpunk responded, again, it is this inability to unite that has led to this perpetual exploitation by other groups. Other races have disputes among themselves, but unite for the common purpose, which is the overall well-being of the group, not being open to exploitation by other groups. It's a corollary of this. The average black has no such regard. He has very little, if any, real regard for his offspring, much less anything further afield. And I do not mean that to be disrespectful. I did say the average. Jamaica was just waiting for some outgroup to come in and exploit them. If it wasn't the Chinese, it could be anyone. Because of the general lack of solidarity, there's no real defense against it. Spirit is good, but there needs to be a very practical solution to resolve this. Sometimes I think, what will it take for them to pull together? Black children are in an absolute state of chaos the world over, dying all over the place, and still no real collective effort. Peace to you though, Ras. I wish well in your plight. Just to answer your question, remember, there were blacks that collaborated with Europeans during the slave trade. It was blacks who sold out Garvey and Malcolm X. It is a part of who most black people are. Blacks who are generally not inclined this way are few and special. You have to be honest to make any headway in this. Then it continues. Then I said, thanks again for having this dialogue with you, my brother. Some things happen to our people. We weren't born this way. We was bred this way. The plantation, the Willie Lynch syndrome, post-slavery traumatic syndrome. What do you think happened to us? I'm nowhere like that. And you, I am nowhere like that. And if you are an African, I can detect you'll be nowhere. He replied to me, thank you, brother, for the dialogue. Much respect. When you say blame casting, are you not doing the same thing? Only my emphasis is on black people themselves as the culprits for their perpetual dysfunction and lack of collective progress. Whilst you direct blame on forces external, history is a very important lesson, brother. If you deny these instances and observation about your people, will you not be inclined towards the same mistakes? Understand that the overall predicament blacks find themselves in collectively is not because the majority of black people are honorable, goodwill, and with good intentions for his fellow man. In fact, quite the opposite is true, generally speaking. I don't believe a group in which the majority are nobly inclined towards each other could be subdued for so long, and still, as we speak today, without any real notion of when their deliverance might come. There are good-intentioned black people everywhere, but it is easy for them to become disheartened based on the experience they have had, not with outside groups, but the groups they belong to and were intending to help. A recognition of this is the solution, Ras. Because anything you build to combat the reality of what blacks are facing is automatically doomed without it. That is the history lesson. Then he said, IMO. The most important thing to consider is the likes of Bagawaya and those who will sell you out for rice and peas. One love, Ras. You know I couldn't let him end there. So I had to answer, and we've been going at this, and I really am enjoying this. Mrkwodsonikpunk, thank you, man, for this parlay, because I'm learning from you, and I do hope you can learn from me. Then the last response, ladies and gentlemen, was this response that I gave to Mrkwodsonikpunk. Just to clear the air, I didn't say enough of your blame casting. That wasn't meant for you alone, but for either of us and everybody else. That said, I'm not satisfied that you have expounded enough on the question I asked, which was to explain in detail why we are the way we are. We wasn't born like this, or was we? I need answers. Thanks again for this educational dialogue. I'm learning a hell of a lot from you. I do hope you learn or absorb some things from what I bring to the table. Have a great day, my brother. Or please come straight and tell me, are we a doom race? Mrkwodsonikpunk. Thank you for this dialogue, my brother. But I can tell you this. The black race is undeniable, the greatest race on the planet Earth. We came here first, and that is a fact. The scientist says you can take the recessive from the dominant, but you can never take the dominant from the recessive. So what I'm trying to say is this. I love all people, man. All of us was brought here on this planet. All of us suddenly woke up and found out that, hey, we're human beings and we're here for a reason. I just didn't come here to eat, sleep, drink, and die. I come here to leave a legacy for my people. My people that I have loved so much, my people that I adore so much, my people that have struggled so much, my people that were kings and queens and still are, because people all over the world in Africa and elsewhere are kings and queens. This melanated skin I love. The Honorable Marcus Garvey said, this is not a badge of shame, but a symbol of greatness. Mrkwodsonikpunk, have a wonderful day, my brother, and thank you very much for this parlay. I enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. I do hope you can have